Okay, I don't like how that shadow is casting, but we just about to do the thing. All right, y'all gonna have to excuse me because this candy is just blessing my soul.
Welcome to my journey. I'm a wife, a mother, a beauty guru, and I love me some weed.
Hey loves, this is a story time, okay? Now, I know y'all probably like, what in the world? Crazy, right? I was like that too at first. Let me go ahead and get started. So, I graduated from high school, class of 2010, but I graduated in January. Now, my, like all my credits was completed. I had more than enough credits come January, so there was no need for me to continue to go to school from like January to whenever. So I graduated school January 2010, and I enlisted in, you know what, let me go back. Okay, so December 2009, I enlisted with the Air Force, the Air National Guard. But it was like a 2-year waiting list, okay? So January 2010, graduate, and May of 2010, I enlisted with the Army. I was 17 years old, and me and my parents was just like, we was butting heads, we was getting into it. You know, I was young, I thought I was grown, I thought, you know the typical teenage girl thing. So part of the reason I went to the Army was because I wanted to get away from my parents. But my dad told us, like, you know, you don't have to go to the military, but you do have to go to college, and I'm not paying for it. So in essence, I just lost my complete train of thought. That was so rude. That's why I need a camera instead of recording with my phone. But it's doing a job for now. Okay. So I was getting to it with my parents, and okay, my dad told us, you don't gotta go to the military, but you gotta go to college. I'm not paying for your college. In essence, you gotta go to the military. You didn't have a choice. Listen, I fought tooth and nail. I did not want to go to the military. I'm like, I can get a scholarship, whatever. I didn't want to go. But then I wanted to go when we was getting into it. So May of 2010, I listened to the military. And then into the Army National Guard. August of 2010, it was August 25th, 2010, I'll never forget. I went down to Fort Jackson, you know what I'm saying, for basic training. It was all good. Basic training, y'all, was hard. It was crazy. I got some stories about that. But, okay, so cool. So, go to basic training. It was hard, broke you down as a civilian, built you up as a soldier. I graduated, I completed, boom, pow, I did it. I was so happy, so proud of myself. If y'all know, it was a rites of passage. And y'all, I was just like, I did it. You know, I just felt so accomplished. Listen, I was crying. That night when we was calling cadence and marching, I was sounding off, boy. Okay, so cool. Done with basic training, it's time for AIT, Advanced Individual Training. So my AIT was in Fort Lee, Virginia. Hey, Fort Lee. So I went with my friend. And her mom drove. I was a 92 series, and she was a 92 series as well. So she was going to the same place. Her mom was driving her, so I just rode with them. And so, you know, we get there, whatever, everything's smooth, everything cool. My job was a cook. Yes, I was a cook. My dad was like, you know, this is a safe job. I wanted to go active duty. My dad was like, no. Like I said, I was 17. I graduated high school when I was 17, so I turned 18 in basic training in September, and my birthday is September 9th. But I wanted to go active duty, but my dad wouldn't let me go active duty, and since he had to sign for me, I had to do what he told me to do. And he wanted me to be a cook because he said it was a safe job and everything else like that. So I was a cook. I was cool with that anyways. You know, I like food. I like to eat. So in advanced individual training, that's what we did. You know, we cooked. I was so hyped, y'all. I was cooking. I was doing the thing, and I was, listen, the best part about cooking is eating. So I enjoyed that too. It was all good. So they're like, the girls have to go get a pap smear. So I'm like, that's weird. I don't even think I hadn't ever had a pap smear before then. So I'm nervous. Like, what are they going to do? Whatever. So me and my battle buddy, you know, we just sitting there chilling, we talking, laughing. That was my girl. So that morning, like, I was texting one of my battle buddies, and he said something about me being pregnant, like laughing it off, you know, whatever, being childish. I told him I had to go to the doctor. He like, why, you pregnant? I'm like, boy, bye. Like, clearly I've been in basic training. Like, how would I be pregnant? Goodbye. So we joking around, whatever. So, you know, the pap smear come back. So we go to get the pap smear, and we had to do a urinalysis. So we did the urinalysis, and then they called me back for a blood sample. And I'm like, that's weird. So she get my blood, and when I did my urinalysis, I didn't pee a lot. So I'm like, am I getting my blood taken because I didn't pee enough? And she was like, yeah, you just didn't pee enough, so we just needed some blood. So I'm like, okay, cool. Go back, sit with my battle buddy. Now my battle buddy, she's older than me. So, you know, she had a pap smear before and everything. Mind you, I'm 18, still up behind the ears. And she like, ooh, what if you was pregnant? And I'm like, girl, bye. You know, we laughing, being funny, childish, whatever. So they call my name. Moment of truth. I'm nervous because I had never had a pap smear before. So y'all about to stick something in me. Like, come on now. Like, I'm not ready for that. So I get back there, you know, she verify, you know, they verify like your name, birthday, stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, I'm nervous. And she's like, okay, your pregnancy test came back positive.
What did you say?
Your pregnancy test came back positive.
What does that mean?
Y'all, that is what I said. I said, what does that mean? Like a dummy. But it was just like, my brain was just like, yep. They just ripped it out of my head. Like, what? What are you talking about? That's not even possible. And I'm crying, y'all. And I feel bad because, like, my military bearing just went out the window. Like, I'm crying. I'm bending all over. I'm leaning all up. They give me tissue. The captain come in. She's the doctor. She's like, you know, it's okay. Da-da-da-da-da. Is this your first? Da-da-da-da. And I'm, you know, they ask me questions. But it's like, y'all, it's like I'm answering the questions, but I'm just, like, gone. Just gone. Like, what in the world? How did this happen? You know, I've been in basic training. I went straight from basic training to AIT. How am I pregnant? So another lady called me back, and she was saying, you know, mind you, okay, they told me I was pregnant, right? Come to find out, y'all. No, okay, we're not going to get to that. So I'm pregnant. So she like, you know, you didn't know? And I'm like, no, I didn't know. I had no idea. She like, you haven't been showing symptoms? I'm like, no, like, no, I didn't know I was pregnant. And so, y'all, I was getting lightweight dog for real. But, okay, so it's like, you know, people are asking me about symptoms, but it's like, I'm 18, you know, I'm not expecting to be pregnant. I'm not looking for symptoms of pregnancy. I don't even really know the symptoms of pregnancy. It's like I did, but I didn't, you know. Of course, you know, when you're young and naive, when you never had a baby before, it's like, you know, you're getting sick, you know, everything else like that, you know, whatever. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, this is crazy. So, you know, sometimes like the my supervisors, but like my drill sergeant, well, not really sergeant, basically in AIT I didn't have drill sergeants, so it was like sergeants, platoon sergeants, whatever else. And speaking of my platoon sergeant, she called me to the side and she was like, I told her about it, and she was like, you're gonna get separated. Now the crazy thing is, I was in the process of switching from National Guard to active duty, because at the time I'm 18, so I can do what I want now. So I'm in the process of switching. So that's done. That's a wrap. It's a wrap for the military, period. You're done. You're cut. Bye-bye. I'm like, what? Like, I was just sick because even though I was, you know, I wasn't like gung-ho about the military, but at the time I was happy. I was enjoying it. I was loving it. I wanted to do it every single day. So I'm like, what? Y'all about to kick me out? Like, oh my God, my world just over. Terrible, right? So, like, the sergeants, like, they would say, like, real smart stuff, like, you know, what was you doing in basic training and everything else like that. And I'm like, I wasn't doing nothing in basic training. Like, they tripping, like, just saying smart stuff to me, you know. And then, like, my battle buddies, they asked me questions like, so you didn't know that you was pregnant? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, no, I did not know I was pregnant. One girl, she asking me questions because she trying to get pregnant because she trying to get kicked out. So I'm like, oh my gosh. Mind you, at this time, I graduated in the beginning of November. I think I graduated basic. It was like the beginning of November. So this is right after Thanksgiving. Right after Thanksgiving. Because for Thanksgiving, I went with my battle buddy. And when I went with my battle buddy, for Thanksgiving, I wound up coming back, and next thing I know, it's like maybe like a week later, you're pregnant. So crazy thing is, my son's dad, we had broke up like 2-3 weeks before then, because come to find out he was doing some stuff he had no business doing while I was gone. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta tell him that I'm pregnant. This nigga not gonna believe that it's his baby, because I've been going for so long. Like, what in the world? So it was just crazy. Like, I was crying, y'all. When I found out, those was like, and then I found out, well, okay, let me slow down. So they saying, you know, what was you doing in basic training, just all types of stuff. And I just felt so bad, because I'm like y'all trying to perceive me like I'm a hoe. You know, in basic training, I was focused on training. I wasn't messing with nobody. I wasn't doing none of that stuff. And it's like, y'all just being so disrespectful. And it was hurtful for real, because I'm like, I'm here. I want to be here. I do a good job. So it's like, you know, I just felt so bad. Like, I was crying. I'm like, I let everybody down. Like, I let myself down. Like, I was just so hurt. But then I was avenged, because it wound up coming out, you're 16 weeks pregnant.
Y'all, I was 4 months pregnant.
4 months. I had no idea. So I'm thinking back, like, how did I miss this, right? So one time I got sick in AIT. So this was right before we could leave for Thanksgiving. So I got sick. And I didn't come home for Thanksgiving, because we could only go like a 300-mile radius. And for me to go home, it was too far away. So I just went with my friend, because I was trying to get out of my uniform. I was trying to get away from the base, all that. I got sick one time. So we had to take a PT test like right before Thanksgiving when we could leave, because if you didn't pass your PT test, you couldn't go. So we took a PT test, y'all. I maxed out on my sit-ups. I did real good on my PT test, but it just so happened that I maxed out on my sit-ups. All right, so we taken our PT test, but we had to hurry up, because as soon as we got done our PT test, we had to go eat breakfast, and then we had to hurry up and go get dressed, and then we had to get to class. So we running the whole time. As soon as the PT test over, we running to get breakfast. We hurrying through the line, we wolfing down our food, we hurry up and we get out of there. It's me and my battle buddy, we running, and I was just like, ugh, I just threw up. And she like, oh my gosh, what was that? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't feel sick. And I'm like, let's go, we gotta go. But the crazy thing was, I don't know if that's from the pregnancy, or that's the simple fact that, you know, we just took a PT test, wolfing out my food, then we running again, because in my pregnancies, I don't get sick. I ain't get sick with Martez, Mylan, or Paris. Obviously, I ain't get sick with Martez, because this pregnancy was the one with Martez. That's my basic training baby. But that was, for me getting sick, that was the only time I got sick. And then, like, people was like, you know, what about your period? Well, in basic training, it's common for females not to have their period, because it's such an active and stressful environment, and you're around so many other females and all these other hormones. So I wasn't the only one who didn't have my period. It was normal. So I wasn't expecting nothing there. When you're pregnant, your equilibrium is off, which means that, you know, your balance is off, you know. So I'm clumsy anyways. Like, y'all, I can't tell you how many times because I don't know why I always like the top of a bunk bed. Like, even when me and my sister had our bunk beds, I would always be at the top. So I cannot tell y'all how many times I fell off my bunk bed. Climbing down, getting jacked. But that wasn't nothing out of the ordinary, because I'm clumsy. The floor was slippery. I only had on socks. So it wasn't nothing that I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know. And then in basic training, when I went to basic training, I was like 145. When I left, I was like 165. There were plenty of other girls who had lost a whole bunch of weight, or even gained a whole bunch of weight, because they said it's normal for that to happen, for the simple fact that you're eating differently and you're working out differently. And, you know, muscle weighs more than fat, and when you're working out every day, a lot of your fat is transforming to muscle. That wasn't no worries or no precautions or nothing crazy there, because it was normal, you know, for that environment. What else? Okay, so my breasts had got really big. When I went to basic training, you know, of course, everything that you pack, you go to basic training. But when we were in the process of going from basic to AIT, you know, we were wearing civilian clothes, and like, I couldn't fit any of my bras. But my breasts weren't sore or anything, and I'm the dummy, like, I don't know what's going on, but I like it. Just as stupid, right? But I still didn't think I was pregnant, because I hadn't been sexually active, you know. So it was no alarm there or nothing like that. Even my battle buddy was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, dude, I have no idea what's going on. But nobody ever said, are you pregnant? Could you be pregnant? That's not on nobody's mind, because I haven't had sex in I don't know how long. And, you know, I'm in basic training. So ain't nobody thinking that, you know. My stomach wasn't big. Y'all, I'm 4 months pregnant and my stomach was not big, okay? So it wound up talking to liaisons and everything else like that. Come to find out, okay, you're going to go home. When you have the baby, you have to set up a family care plan, and then you can come back. Cool, great. You don't have to redo basic training. You already completed basic training. You are going to have to redo an AIT. I was always salty about that, because with AIT, I was like halfway through. But I was like, you know what, whatever, I ain't tripping over it. I'm just glad I get to stay. So it was like 2 or 3 days before I was to go home, but they was trying to hurry up and get me out because I was a liability. Like if anything was to happen to me or the baby, then the military could have been held liable for that. So they were just trying to minimize any risks or anything. So y'all, they wind up giving me like prenatal pills. I was throwing up every day. Every day. Every time I took the doggone prenatal pill, I'm throwing up. So they're like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't make sense for me to be getting sick now, because I wasn't getting sick before. And it was like, it might just be a psychological thing. My platoon sergeant, thank God she was a female, and she had kids. So she looks at me and she was like, are you eating with your prenatal pill? And I'm like, no. She was like, oh. She called me dummy or idiot or something. And I'm just sitting there like, what? And she like, you have to eat with these. Y'all, it was a big yellow sign on the bottle that said I was supposed to eat with them. But I'm the dummy. You know, I had never had a kid before. I'm in complete shock. I'm not paying attention. I don't pay attention as it is, let alone now. So I'm just in complete shock. It's ridiculous. It's a mess. Dumb. So I'm like, okay, like, what am I going to... So I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? Because in the barracks, we're not allowed to have food in our rooms. So they're like, you know, because you're pregnant, you can have food in your room because you need it with your prenatal pill. So I'm like, cool, y'all. It was disgusting. It was projectile vomiting. Crazy. But listen, you know, side story. You know, I had food in my room. So, you know, we all wanted food in our room. So a girl, she come in like, can I have some? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. You can get something out of there. Why she eat all my food? Everybody was so mad at her, like, you don't eat a pregnant woman's food, like, you know she need that. It was a mess. I was just like, oh my, I'm not sure, because I can easily go to the D-Pack and get more. But it was just a mess. Like, how you gonna eat all my food? Like, who does that? But I was just like, whatever. But y'all, another thing I want to say is, like, at that time, this is one reason why I will forever love the military. It was females that I didn't even get along with, and they encouraging me, it's okay, don't worry about it, like, you know. And it was one female, she was a mom, and she like, you know, I got kids, it'll be all right, you know, whatever, and just all types of stuff. And y'all, it was just like the camaraderie and the respect, and like just how down my battle buddies was for me. It was so real. It was so real, because like I said, it was females I didn't even get along with, I hadn't even got into it with, but they still had my back. And it was just like, I fool with you, that is you, look at how you looking. But oh my gosh, one time, because I would either be in my room or I would be like doing CQ or something like that, because I couldn't really do anything else. So we had to come down for a mandatory meeting. And it was 2 guys, like, and I didn't even really know them all like that, but I was just so sad, and everybody could see it on my face, like, because I'm always like loud, goofy, bubbly, doing something dumb and childish. That's me. But everybody could see that I was just down, and everybody, you know, people just didn't like it because that's just not my character, and I was just so like disturbed, just distraught. And, like, they did. Now, you know, when you're in training, it's strict, so you can't be loud. You need to be careful because you got a weapon, all that. They being childish, acting like they on Murray, talking about they like Oz the Pappy. It's 2 of them, Oz the Pappy, doing all that. And then I can't even remember who was playing Murray, but one dude wound up saying that it wasn't his. And then he all happy, running and everything. Like, dude, you got on your weapon. He running down a female dorm. Like, you could get in some serious trouble. And then the other dude, he like, they told him it was his. He like, listen, I'm gonna have to just take care of my responsibilities. Like, he's in my face doing this. Like, I'm in tears laughing. Like, I was laughing so hard, because it's like, number one, where is our superiors at? You know, because any other time they pop up on you and you just randomly. I don't know where they was at. I'm crying laughing, and I was just so happy because, like, dude, the way my battle buddies had my back, it was ridiculous. And then there was another dude. He was white, and you know, I'm dumb, and I'm always sitting there doing something dumb, and he like, more, he like, what's the matter? He like, it's okay, it'll be all right. And like little stupid stuff that I used to say to them, like he would say to me, and it just made me laugh. And it was like, y'all, that night I cried tears of joy. I was just so happy because my battle buddies, they really encouraged me. They had my back. They made me feel so much better, and it was just like, it was so cool. But as far as me calling and telling my parents, y'all, I was so nervous because, like I said, we was at odds when I left. We had just like kind of got like back on good terms and everything, and now I gotta call them and tell them that I'm pregnant, and at that I'm 4 months. So I think I can't remember if I texted my dad. I think I called my dad and I told him like I think I was about to text him, but I just called him, and I'm just like, I couldn't even say like I'm pregnant. I was just like, I'm 4 months. That's all I could say. And like, it just makes me want to cry now, because like my dad, he a big dude. He's a big dude, but he's just such a gentle giant. Oh my gosh, my eyes is welling up with tears. But he like, you know, come home, you know, you need to go to school, or basically like you still need to do something with your life. You gonna be something, like, period. But he was just so supportive. And like, I'm gonna call it, I told my mom later because I was scared to tell my mom, because I just thought that mom was gonna be dramatic and just going off on me and everything. And my mom, like, she real heavy in the my dad is a pastor. For y'all who don't know, I am a PK. Of course, my mom is the first lady. So I just knew my mom was gonna be like, you're not supposed to be fornicating and all this stuff. And I was gonna be like, girl, I'm married. Let me stop playing. But I just knew she was going to just flip out. So when I finally did call and tell her, she was like, yeah, daddy already told me. But just like the few days before I left, like, y'all, I was just so hurt. Like I said, I felt like I let everybody down. I was crying all the time. Like, I let everybody down. I let myself down. The people who was rooting against me, I proved them right. The odds were stacked against me. You know, I went ahead. It ain't even that the odds were stacked against me, because I can't blame nobody but myself, because I was the one having sex. I didn't get raped. So I'm just like, dang, like, I messed up. Like, you know, everybody who wanted to see me do bad, I just went ahead and walked right into it. You know, I'm a statistic. Like, I messed up. Like, I'm dumb. Like, I'm just stupid. Like, I felt terrible. I felt terrible. But the one thing that I felt good about was my baby boy. Y'all, I knew it was a boy. I don't even know how. I just knew it was a boy. I knew it was a boy. Everybody like, you better stop saying that. You know, you're going to get your let down, whatever. If you find it's a girl, I'm like, no, I'm not going to find out it's a girl. It's a boy. Like, I know for a fact it's a boy. I was literally saying that. They like, okay, I'll be darned. It was a boy. My Marty D. Hey. I wish she was here. But I knew it was a boy. And that was one thing that made me feel good. I was going to name him Cornelius, but everybody like, don't name him that. Everybody going to call him Corny. I'm like, he good. He going to be Cornelius the Great. But he's Marty D, you know, my little Marty D. But so my sister, like, I was just so encouraged. Like, I remember my sister texted me and she was like, you know, they was asking like, when am I coming home and everything. And my sister's like, hurry up and come home so we can take care of you and the baby. And like, y'all, it just made me feel so good. Cause like my family, like, they had my back. Like, my battle buddies had my back. My family had my back. Like, in a time where I'm beating myself up and everything else like that, everybody's just so supportive of me. Nobody said nothing negative. Except when they're trying to play me saying I got pregnant basic training. But it's like, hi, I'm 4 months. It haven't been 4 months. I got pregnant. I was like 2 weeks when I left. And for everybody who has ever been to the military and know about MEPS, okay, you be there for hours. They take your blood. You do your analysis. They do all types of stuff. So I'm like, it don't make sense. Like, that gotta be wrong. But come to find out, I was only like 2 weeks or so when I left, so they didn't catch it. So I finally leave, y'all. It was this dude that was active duty, right? Like, in AIT, like, why he sending me pictures of his stuff? Mind you, he in his 20s and I'm 18. Like, stop. Don't, that's so disrespectful. And it's like, I didn't ask him for it. I ain't sending nothing back to him. Like, what is you doing? So then he all in my face and but y'all, he had left and came back You wanna know why he left? Because he had a baby. So you just had a baby and you all in my face talking about he'd be there for me and my son, but yet your baby mom and your kid is going to be with you when you get to your active duty station. Pump the brakes. Bye-bye. I'm not stunting you. And like, he'd be all in my face, and my platoon sergeant was like, okay. Like the day I was leaving, he trying to give me a hug and here, keep my number. No. Like, no. But I wound up getting home, and of course, like, my family, they was there for me and everything else like that. And it seemed like I just got swollen when I got home. Like, I got, like, my stomach. Like, the crazy thing is, like, my body was still cool. Like, right after I had my test, like, I snapped right back, you know, snatched. But, you know, it wasn't the same after Milan or Paris. But, you know, it is what it is. You live and you learn. But, y'all, it was crazy. Like, that was, like, such a crazy part of my life. But I'm just really, like, I'm so grateful to God, because I really feel like, you know, God has a purpose and a plan for everything. All things are working together for my good. You know, and I got to throw this verse out there because I love it. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, thoughts of good and not of evil, to give you an expected end. Or, you know, you can replace expected, prosperous end, whatever. But it's like, it was God's will for me to go through basic training. Because, y'all, I grew up so much. I learned so much. Like, basic training made me an overall better person. Like, it changed my mindset. Like, it made me a better candidate just to be a mother. And if it hadn't been for basic training, I don't know what type of mother I would have been. But I was just like, because, you know, in basic training, it's like, there is no I can't, or I'm not, or I won't, period. You better get it going. You better make it happen. So I was just in that mode when I found out I was pregnant. So I'm like, abortion or giving a baby up or none of that never crossed my mind. I'm just like, I got to do what I got to do. I'm just going to have to figure it out. And me and Martez's dad, we got into it because I told him, like, you know, I'm hoping for the best, but I'm preparing for the worst. He like, what does that mean? I'm like, you know, I'm hoping you're going to be there, but if you're not, I'm going to do it without you. You know what I'm saying? I got to do what I got to do. And he got mad, but I'm just like, I'm at this moment, I'm thinking in my head, like, there's a life inside of me, and I got to take care of this little baby. But it was crazy, y'all. It was so crazy. And then it wasn't even that long later. Like, that was in, I think I got home in December. And in April, he was born. So I wasn't knowingly pregnant for that long. He was premature. He was like 6 weeks early because I was due in May. But he was 6 weeks early. He was only 4 pounds and 6 ounces. He was so little. But I was just so happy, like, oh my gosh, this is my little basic training baby. And everybody would joke, like, he was in that stomach when he was doing sit-ups, like, go mommy, go mommy. But it was just like, I think back on it now, and I still be like, dang, I didn't know I was pregnant. I found out I was pregnant when I was 4 months, and I did not know I was pregnant. But I thank God, because he took care of me and my baby. He watched out for that little big head boy. And, you know, what is it? However many years later, my Marty D, he's 6 years old, and he's smart and funny and active and irritating and annoying, and he do the most. But that's my baby. Like, that's my mini me. Like, he looked like me. He looked like his dad too. But he do the most. He do the most, and he's so childish and annoying. And he just like me. Like, he just like me. Like, that's my baby. I'm so grateful to God for Martez. But y'all, to answer your question, I did not get pregnant in basic training, okay? For everybody who said I did, let me get up close and personal, okay? Let me sit back. But for real though, I did not get pregnant in basic training. I wasn't studying nobody in basic training, okay? I got pregnant right before basic training, and it was not on purpose, y'all. I was not trying to do that. You know what? Let me give you the moral of the story. Keep your legs closed, okay? I'm not gonna do that. Am I gonna do that? I'm gonna do that. Keep your legs closed, y'all. Because I was just, we're not gonna get into what I was doing. I got pregnant at 17. But it's crazy because I didn't find out till I was 18. Ain't that crazy? But my little big head Marty, that's what happened. So, if you made it to the end of this video, Like Jayla Majette say, I mess with you. I love you. I rock with you. You my bestie. Okay? You my bae. But I need you to do me one more favor though, okay? I want you to go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to my channel, okay? And then when you subscribe to my channel, go hit that little bell. Go ahead, hit that bell. Because when I put up a new video, you're going to get a notification. And you're going to have front row seats to me. Me. Don't you want that? I want you to have that. But for real. And then, give me a comment, you know. Are you a mother? How many kids do you have? Are you a father? How many kids do you have? And how far were you when you found out you were pregnant? With Mylan, I was early. When I got my first ultrasound, I was 6 weeks. But I knew I was pregnant before that. With Paris, when I got my first ultrasound, I was like 4 or 5 weeks. So I knew real early. I was really in tune with my body after I had Marty. But like, comment, subscribe, and share the video so somebody else can see it and enjoy it. We can talk, we can laugh. You know what I'm saying? All right? Don't be selfish. Don't be stingy, okay? Share the wealth. This Sour Patch Kids slap. But I love you guys so very much, and I'll see y'all in my next video.